Richard, how are you?
I'm doing well, Terrell. How are you?
Great. So we will get started here. I don't have the slides, but you can tell us a little bit about yourself and Cindy. I've got a picture of your rather large family there. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Let's see. I'm 40 years old. I actually am a former football coach, high school football coach here in Houston. I was with the Houston Fire Department and recently left there. Was ready for something different and didn't quite know what I wanted to do, and was kind of jumping around, deciding between real estate or construction, but I wanted to do something, and my dad just told me to listen to this radio show with Del Walmsley, so I gave it a shot. My wife Cindy is she's self-employed. She has a swim school here in the city of Bel Air. We have four beautiful children, 9, 8, 7, and 5, and they're a handful. And
I can imagine.
we're ready to get back to school. So.
Okay. So how did you hear about Lifestyles? Why did you join Lifestyles Unlimited?
Again, it's funny. I didn't know what I wanted. I wanted to do something, and my father actually has known Dell for years through the gym, through working out, and he told me to check this guy out on 740. And so one day I was driving home and I started listening, and I didn't want to get in and go listen to something. I wasn't in for one of these, pay for this and go listen, and it just didn't sound right. And finally something clicked, and I just said, look, I'll give it a shot. I'll go in and I'll listen. And again, listening to both Davids, it's kind of funny, but to listen to both Davids and give their 2-day seminar, it was eye-opening. It was like, oh, this is it. This is what I needed. And I dove in head first and didn't look back.
Excellent. So. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about one of your properties. This one's on Glenhew. This is here in the Houston area, I believe. Is that correct?
It's actually up in Humble. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the greater Houston area, but.
Correct.
Okay, so we got a few pictures there. This was a property that needed some rehab, so we have some before pictures and some after pictures. So you found this distressed property that needed rehab, and you put your team together and went in and made the offer, bought the property, and got your contractors in and got the work going, and turned it around and made it like Lifestyles teaches, made it the best price, best product. And so then you were able to go out and get tenants in it. So let's move on. We're going to talk about the numbers. I'll go over the numbers and you can add anything you want to add to that. So when you found the property, it had an appraised value, if it's in great condition, of $185,000, but you were able to buy it because it needed so much rehab, so much deferred maintenance. You were able to buy it for $129,000, which made your initial equity $56,000. Then you put $31,000 into it in rehab. Your closing costs were $11,000, a little over $11,000. So your net equity was $13,672. And like David talked about earlier, we're able to buy properties for less than what they're actually worth. You can't go out and buy stocks for less than what they're worth. So you picked up equity when the day you closed on the property and had it ready to go. Your cash out of pocket was $24,000. So your return on capital gain, that's the $13,000 of equity divided by the $13,000 out of pocket. So you had a $50,000. I'm sorry, 50% return on capital. And then your rent a month, $18,000 a year, and your cash flow, your rent minus your payment is $315. So that's $37.80 a month. I'm sorry, $37.80 a year. So your cash on cash return is 15%. And again, that's compared to the stock market, which on a good year, it's 7%. On a great year, it might be 10 or 11%. So you had a 15% cash on cash return. And so those are, great numbers. And this is pretty typical of today's market. The market is still doing well, even during the COVID situation. So so you have your first property. Now I know you have 2 other things in the works. So tell us kind of quickly about what's also going on with you now.
So yeah, I bought this one, and again, I used the whole team, from my mentor to the Evelina and the Lifestyles Unlimited real estate team, Tracy, and then I used Toby and Marispec and Lewis with All-Star Contractors. And again, we attacked it as a team. I mean, it was literally everybody was on deck, all hands on deck. You know, if I didn't understand something, they would help. I mean, again, it wasn't just me, and I wasn't just left out on an island. I mean, literally everybody was asking, okay, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you submitted these paperwork? Have you done this? And I mean, again, it was turnkey operation from the top to the bottom, and it was scary at first because you just don't know, and again, they see you through it, and it was simple, and so again, we did this house and got it listed, and I mean, it rented 2 weeks after I finished, and then I was ready to go again, so we bought another one and then bought another one. There actually should be going on the market for rent, and the other one is going to have much higher equity. I decided I want to take a more equity approach to build my nest egg and invest and eventually get to multifamily. But yeah, I mean, it's we had to slow down. My wife keeps telling me, wait, we need to wait just due to COVID. Let's finish this year. But I mean, I was looking to buy, I wanted to buy 5 this year. I mean, I signed up in December 2019, and it's what I want to do, and it's awesome.
And so when did you close on this first one?
The first one we closed February 21st.
Okay.
So 2 months after I joined.
So 2 months after you joined, you bought the property, you closed on it, you started the rehab, and then COVID hits, but you were still able to get a tenant in, and it's been performing as expected.
Yeah, exactly. That was kind of the scary thing, we like bought it, and then COVID hit, and right in the middle of the rehab process, and next thing you know, it's they worked straight through, and then I went out there and, like I said, got it rented, and during COVID, and I didn't think it was possible, but like everybody said, you still need a place to live during a pandemic. So.
And so you bought 2 more since then. So you're still plugging forward even during COVID. Things are working as expected.
Exactly, that's correct.
And so now I think I know the answer, but did you have any previous real estate investing experience before this?
Absolutely not, none at all. Again, I was in the fire department, and I left, and I took the money that without talking to my CPA and my wife, and that was supposed to go to my pension, and don't do what I did, but I took it out. I kind of talked to my CPA, but I said I'm doing it anyway, and I'm like, I'm going to buy a couple pieces of property, and again, that's what I did. So.
Well, Lifestyles teaches to get advice from people who fully understand real estate investing. If your CPA does that, that's great. We never tell you don't talk to your wife, though. That's one thing that be careful about.
So, but yeah, no real estate experience, and I followed the plan, and that's again.
Richard, I got a question for you. Now that you've done it, you got over your fear, you stepped up, you pulled that money out. Do you have any regrets now? Because that's probably peeing your pants excited, the returns you're making now compared to what you're making before, correct?
Oh, exactly, without a doubt. It was a little scary when I pulled it out, but once I did it, it was like, okay, there's no turning back, and let's go. So.
Okay. The next slide, we've already talked a little bit about your team. You've already talked about who was on your team and the team you had to build to get this done. This is not a one man, one family show. So we've already discussed your team. So you touched on it a little bit, but on the next slide, let's talk about a little bit about how Lifestyles has changed your life.
Again, I wanted nice things, and I wanted, I pretty much wanted to live outside of my means, and I realized that's not going to allow me to have a great lifestyle or a happy lifestyle with my children and everybody. And so once I kind of took this and saw different perspectives and saw again what people with real wealth were doing and how they were living and experiencing that, it turned on a light. and how they got there and what they did through real estate. And then again, like I said, listening to David speak and give one of his videos, it was just like he did just before we started about the Esperanza. It's you know, I can actually do that. I don't have to be a millionaire or born into it. Like, again, this is the path, and again, you kind of hold our hand to get there, and so it's just follow the path and let's do it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so so what's next for you? What do you plan on doing in real estate after this? If you get these
Again,
two up into, what are you gonna do next?
Again, I didn't quite know. I wanted to get a few more houses, but again, the end goal is to be an IRO and invest in multifamily, and again, have enough to where I can again have this lifestyle that I want, raise my children and be home. Again, I was a firefighter, and I was gone for 24 hours a day and at days at a time, and you miss certain things with your kids, and luckily they're young enough to where they weren't doing a whole lot, but you still miss that, and then they start getting into sports, and you don't get to really watch them grow up. But again, right. Watching my kids grow up, being able to travel and not have to worry about during a pandemic, are we going to make it? Are we going to be okay? Are we gonna survive? So
okay.
I don't want that. I don't want to have that stress, and I don't want to have to think about those things.
Excellent. And for the new people listening, Richard mentioned IRO. That's independent rental owner, and that's when you buy a multifamily property on your own without any other investors. That's one of your goals, is to be an independent rental owner. Okay, so I know Member Services has been fielding any questions. Do we have any questions for Richard?
I have David next to me, so I'm just going to hold the microphone for him.
Yeah. Hey, so, okay, Richard, what was the down payment on your first house? What was your cash out of pocket?
The first one was right at 24.9, I believe.
Okay. And how did you find your properties? How did you find the properties, each one of them?
Again, they were all through email blasts, through Lifestyles, real estate.
What was the hardest thing about your first house?
Again, it was once I got the tag, hey, you're up, this could be your property. Do you want it? Yes or no? I need to know pretty much right now. That was saying yes, just getting over that hump. And kind of once I said yes, and after talking, again to my realtor, my real estate agent, it was like, yeah, let's. And I said yes, and that was it. And then it was that was the hardest part, just jumping in.
I only have one thing there, David. I only have one thing before you move with the next question. What Lifestyles teaches you, and what David's going to teach you this weekend, is to get the proper education. And because these things do move quickly, so you will be prepared to move quickly when the opportunity comes to you, because you can't wait days and weeks to make a decision. So, but you have to be properly educated, have a team built so that you can move forward very quickly.
You have another one?
No, that's all.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, Richard. There's a lot of new folks listening for the first time. No clue. One of their friends sent them a link. They're here, listen to Lifestyles. They thought it was a swingers club. They found out they're disappointed. They saw Sorrel. So, can you give advice to somebody new for the first time, knows nothing about Lifestyles?
Birth control.
It's not about what? Oh, it's glasses or BCDs?
Condoms. Lifestyles.
Never mind. Anyways, shut up, David. Anyways, Richard, could you give advice to somebody new listening for the first time?
Again, like everybody says, build the team, do your homework, and as long as you do what you're supposed to do, trust the process, trust the system, and go. And again, because we can sit here and we can talk about it, you can talk about it, you can think about it, and at the end of the day, if you don't do it, you don't sign up, you're never going to do it. So
yeah, don't live your life with regrets. Would have, should have, could have. I'll put it off till later. It doesn't work, does it? I'm glad that you stepped up, even during the pandemic. Not scared. 3 deals is pretty freaking awesome. We have another question. Hold on a second.
Yeah, was it hard to get a loan from a bank on a fixer-upper with a down payment?
So again, I went through hard money. So I went through a hard money lender, and again, I got pre-approved, you know, through Toby, through AMP Lending, and once I got pre-approved through him for the traditional loan, Red Door hit me up and said, hey, you're pre-approved for this much money. And again, I just kind of reached out to some people I found on through Lifestyles, through the portal, and look, you need an inspector, you need a contractor, you need this, you need this. We've got it all. And start finding people you like and reach out and go. So yeah, it wasn't hard. Again, going through a hard money lender and then converting to a traditional loan, very easy.
And so your lenders were both vendors on the vendor list for Lifestyles.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
Lifestyles has an extensive vendor
Go ahead.
list.
I'm going to
Yeah,
say what I was going to say anyway. Go ahead, say it.
Lifestyles has an extensive vendor list. That's part of building your team, along with the education. David's going to teach all that this weekend, how you do the education, then you find the vendors, you plug everybody into your team. And again, you're going to be ready to go when you get the education and get the team built.
Yeah, and so folks, just so you know, this weekend, you're like your question is, what do you mean? My lender wouldn't lend me on a house that's a piece of crap with bad flooring or bad roof. We have specialized lenders. I'm going to teach you about it. It's called hard money. I'm going to go take you through that whole process, how you can buy up these fixer-uppers for little out of pocket, like Richard did.
Okay, well, if there's no more questions, Richard, I want to thank you for stepping up and giving back. And we appreciate you being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks so much, Richard. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me on.